My dear students, welcome into this very last video for the topic about the change of the subject of the formula. I have hope that we have been together in the previous videos. So we have exhausted everything. This time around, we just have to see in some other areas where we feel we can apply these issues about the change of the subjects. So these are just like applied problems aside, and you don't have to be afraid. Right, so I do just have one question here that need us to discuss together. Right, of course, there are two A and B. I say, how do we handle such type of problems? Right, so I'll write the example on the board here, and after I'm going to lab it. So take note of it because of the space we have here. We'll do the first one, and the B I will write later again so that we have a space here. Like the example of which goes like this. They say the surface area of a cross D, that's a cone of height h and the base, that's a radius r, is given by A is equal to pi r squared plus pi r root the square root of h squared plus r squared. Right. So the first question is asking us to show that h is equal to square root over a, open brackets, a minus 2 pi r squared divided by, that is, pi r. Right, so the second one is asking us to work out on this one. They say find the height of the cone, right, of surface area 100 square centimeters and base radius 3 centimeters, and we're asked to use pi as 22 over 7. So you can see the whole board has been occupied up by one question. So I'll just give you just a minute to take note and read through the question because I'll lab it. I don't have enough space here. So let me read it with you together. The surface area of a closed cone of height h and base radius r is given by this formula here. That is A equal to pi r squared plus pi r. That's the square root of h squared plus r squared. So the question is just simply to show that h is equal to square root of a, open bracket, a minus 2 pi r squared divided by pi r. Find the height of the cone of the surface area. Find the height of the cone of surface area 100 square centimeters and base and of base radius 3 centimeters. Use pi 22 over 7. So this question is worth it for examination. We'll give you 8 marks on this one. Right. So this is what we have. So what we do, let's first of all concentrate on the first question, where we need to show that h is defined by this. Like the h as the subject, it's more like make h the subject in this case. Right. So let's have it. So our formula here that we're given here is for A, we are given that, say, A is equal to pi r squared minus pi r squared over h squared plus r squared. So we need to show that in this formula that we have here, we have to show that h is this. That is A, open brackets, A minus C 2 pi r squared over pi r. Right. So if these are the kind of questions which comes, us as students, we should be able to realize that what is being asked here is more like just changing the subject into H. So far, the subject is A, which is the area. I'd like now to make H the subject. It's more like how can we find the height in this case? If area can be found by this one or the cone, now how can we find the height of which? Right. So it's more like making H the subject. So let us deal with this one, and thereafter we're going to handle the second part of the question, where we're given if the area is 100 and the radius is 3, where pi is 24/7. How do we find the height of which? How much is the height? All right. So this is what we are going to do in order to, or in attempt to find the height as such. So this time around, I would ask you to work together. Phi. I know we cannot talk, but if you had been in class, I would have been asking a lot of questions here. What do we do? What is the first step to take? Things like that. That's what I wanted, because we've already learned everything about it. So whatever is there, let's be together here, take that we are discussing. So have something in your brain and the mind to think that what the teacher is going to do there, the first step should be A, B, C, and the next should be that, and we have to go together. So if I make a mistake there, it means you two have also made the mistake, because we have learned this together, only that you're not here with me, but let's do it. Right, so we are targeting H, which is found on the right-hand side of the equation, and again, inside the root, and moreover, it has got a power, which is a 2. Right, so the first step here, obviously, in order to make H the subject, we have to transfer this term into the left-hand side. Right, so what are we going to have? It means here we are going to have A, this comes here, B minus C, pi r squared. That's what we have in this case. Right, sorry, here's plus, 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 plus. Right, so can you take note of that equation there? Here it should be plus, not minus. You have to check on that one. That is plus, that's plus. Right, so that is our equation there. So when this one is on that side, what we are meaning up here is just pi r h squared plus r squared. That's what we do. Right? Next, what is it that we are going to do in this case? Obviously, by what we have learned, you need at least to get rid of this pi r on the right hand side. Remember, we're trying to remove everything from this side here, so at the end, you just remain with h. So little by little, but within the principles of mathematics. So let us remove this one out. So this one will be divided by pi r. Then this one will be divided by pi r. And this one again divided by pi r. That's the way to be. Right. So this and this they'll cancel. But this one will be maintained as a over pi r. Then plus, you can simplify this one, pi and pi, then r here gets r. So this one, it is plus r as such. So this one gives us this one there, h squared plus r squared. That's what we have in this case. Next, what is it that we're going to do? You told me that we have to take the square root on both sides. So here we have got a over pi r plus r is equal to this one here. So if we have to take the square on this side in attempt to remove the root, then I need also to square this one out here. So what we have there, this is one expression. So to get rid of this square root here, I have to square this one. So it means I have got a over pi r plus r. This one has to be squared, and this side here will have h squared plus r squared. Right. So little by little, what does this one mean? It means this one has to be multiplied by itself, right? In attempt to get that expression that we have here, let's try to expand that one out. So that one simply means a over that talk of the pi r plus r multiplied by a over pi r plus r, which is equal to h squared plus r squared. That's what we have there. Right, so if this is multiplied by this one, we have here talk of the this time this one, we're going to get that is a squared over pi squared r squared. And again, what do you have there? It means this multiplied by this one, we have got plus c, that is you talk over this time that one, we'll get what? That is ra over pi r, and the same this one and this one, you also get what that is talk of the r a over pi r, and this time this one you get r squared. So this one gives us h squared plus r squared as such. Right, so that is what we will have to that side. Right, now in attempting to proceed our story here, in order to make that's the h as the subject here, what we have in this case, okay, let's just observe a bit here. There was a misunderstanding somewhere here. When this comes here, this one must be negative. I think you have to take note of this one. So this one should be negative on this part here, because this comes here, it should be negative. So just change the sign here, just change the sign here. So this one should be negative, right? And again, we talk over this part, it means all throughout, it will be negative there. Just change the symbol there. So here to be negative, and again here to also be what? Negative as such. And then what do we have here? We also have a negative here. Here it means this multiplied by this, we get this one here. So it be this time that one, get this one, and this time this one, get this one, still more this one, over for what? A negative. Because you talk of this one times this one, you get negative ra over pi r. And then you also talk of the this one times this one, still more here, you get what? A negative as such. Right, let's not mix up the sign. So this one times this one, we still more get what? A positive. Right, remember, when we're transferring the term from one side to the other, we need to at least convert the sign. I think you observed that one out. Right, so that's about the same side, but the story continues as such. Now, from here, we can some here and there try to simplify up the terms where necessary. Like on this part here, you can have your a squared over pi squared r squared minus, you can be able to simplify r and r, and then you have got a over pi, and then here it be also the same r and r, you have got a over pi as such, and then here plus r squared. Now, if I transfer this term to the side, I have got minus r squared, and here I've got what? H squared as such. Right, and usually you two as the students, every time you are solving maths, it's very important to always, when you have solved it, at the end, try to go through. You might be able to think that you are going the right direction, but where now you have just messed up with the sign, things changes. So at least you solve a step, then go upwards there, check, have I done the right thing? So that he really carries the story. And if I were not to go back there, I would have messed up with that. So that's the way maths goes by. Now, what do you have here then now? A squared over pi squared r squared minus a over pi minus a over pi. And I have hope that this is what you're also doing there, because you are supposed to do this one by yourself. So this and this one, they go, r squared minus r squared, you get the 0. And the right hand side here, we have got h squared as such. Right, so can you go through this side here, because I'm going to lap that one off, right, because of space. I'll proceed with this step here. So we are at a squared over pi r squared, pi squared r squared minus a over pi, and also there we talk over minus a over pi is equal to h squared. Remember, our target would like to make more like h as the subject to show that expression. Now, where do we go then? From here, you can simplify this part here. We'll have as a squared over pi squared r squared. There is subtracting a over pi, and then minus c a over pi is equal to h squared. You'll be able to realize if you can go the direct method here. I'll take the simplest one. You have the common denominator for this, and that, which is just pi squared r squared. Such. So this one, when it gets here, you get what? That's 1 times a squared. You have your a squared. When this one gets here, you get what? You talk of the minus what? You have this one cancels this one. So it means you have got pi r squared with it. So it means you have got minus c. That's a talk of pi squared, just pi r squared. And here again, this is the same cancel of this one. It means you are remaining with pi here to multiply by a here. So you have to also multiply by a here. You get that a. And then here you also have what? Minus what? Talk of this getting here. You have got that is the a pi r squared. You know, this cancels this one. You have got pi, then r squared times a. You get this. The same way this gets in this one. You have got pi r squared times a. You get that one. So it means you have got h squared aside. Then after, what do? You are there going now to simplify. You can see on top here, there are like terms. So it means in this case, you have got a squared, this and this are like terms. So you get that is 2a pi r squared over pi squared r squared, which is equal to h squared. From here, where do you go then? Now, as a matter of fact, there's nothing that you can do on the left-hand side. So here, what we need to do is just now trying to isolate h from the h squared. Right, so how do you handle that one? Obviously, by the previous procedures that we have been highlighting in the examples of previous videos, you need just have to take the square root on both sides. I take the square root of this, I need also take the square root of this one. Right, so let's see what we have then if I take the square root on both sides. Right, taking the square root of h here, obviously we have h. So as the operation of mass, you do on one side, you do the same on that. It means here you have got what? The square root of a squared minus 2a pi r squared over pi squared r squared aside. Right, so if now we can look at this, you find that if we like the square root or take the square root of a fraction, this is as good as splitting that root into two parts. We have a situation like a root for the numerator as a squared minus c2, that is talk over that's a pi r squared over again, that is root of pi squared r squared, and this one is equal to h. That's what it means here. When I like this one, the square root of the fraction is as good as splitting the fraction like that. Now, if I'm going to go further by having the square root of this expression in the bracket, that one is not possible. So it means that one has to be left in the root. But the only thing I can do here, I can be able to realize that here there's a common factor that you can divide here and there. And this here is a. So it means my a has to be factored out in that expression. I've got a here, you get a, then minus 2 pi r squared. Goes like that. Right, then down here, the square root of this one will give us what? Pi r, and this one give us h. So that is what we have here. And by what we highlighted there, you really see that we have really shown that in that formula, really is true that h will give us this. So that's the way you can show it out. Hopefully, we have moved together where you are, had the paper, scribbling down, we have ended at this stage. So go back from the starting point until you arrive at this point here. Right. So you might also be sometimes asked to also make even R the subject. Try to make R the subject there. You can come up with the formula of which. Right. So that's it. Now, for the last part of the question, they are asking us now to find the height of this cone. Considering now that you know the formula of finding the height, as now in this case, this is B. H is just given by what? That's the square root of A minus what? 2 pi R squared from what we found here over pi R. Right? So here in the question we are given like that's the area which is defined by A is equal to 100. And if you talk of the radius, which is R, is given as the what? 3. It's more like, can you find the value of H when A is 100, R is 3? Where our H in this case is just what? Talk of the area of the cone. Right. So now, to do this one out, it's just a matter of substitution. And also we're given here as pi is equal to what? Pi is given as 22 over 7. What we're going to do here is simply a matter of substituting these values here where necessary. For A, we're going to substitute for A. Here, write 100, there, write 100. For R, we're going to write what? That's a 3 here. For pi, we're going to write what? 22 over 7, 22 over 7, things like that one. I think this is the simple mathematics. Right. And there, I think you don't necessarily need a teacher at least to finalize up with you. Find the height of the cone if area is 100, radius is 3, pi is 22 over 7. So what I want you to do is, I want you to finish this one out by just doing the calculation as such, where here you have got what? A, we write 100, multiplied by A there, 100, or you can first of all begin by expanding this one out, right? To reduce up the processes. So here it means multiplied by 2 times 22 over 7 multiplied by 3 to the power 2. You take the square root of that one, and then you divide by pi, which is 22 over 7 multiplied by R, which is a 3. Right. So I want you to process this one out such that at the very end, I want you to find the height as that is should be equal to what? 7. Of course, it is 7 point something here, but you can collect it to nearest whole number. It should be 7 centimeters. So please do it. Process out here. I've already done almost everything for you. Process this one out and find H as 7. Right. So with this, we mark the end of the entire topic about the change of the subject of the formula. It has been short, but still more. Almost every question comes on the change of the subject. Thank you very much for this, but don't forget to revise all the videos we have discussed in this topic by the link that is down here, right? So that when we go to another topic, you should be always be updated by the previous one. The same who have just joined us, do the same. The videos, the several videos. We started with the quadratic expressions long time back, sometime back. So be connected with that one, revise, and then join us in the other discussions. Thank you very much.